Hi everyone, my name is Vita. I'm going to be showing y'all how to make a warped chrome text effect in Photoshop. So I have already made mine, but I'm going to remake it again to showcase. Let's start off by making a new file, 5 by 7 inches with a vertical orientation of 300 resolution. Create. There's your file. Before we do anything else, let's save this. Then we're going to adjustment layers, solid color, black. This is going to be our background color. Then from here, we're going to add my sketch. We're using a sketch because I'm going to trace these letters and make my own sort of font here instead of working with an existing font. I'm doing this because I want a certain look that I'm going for and I feel more comfortable drawing it than anything else. So we're going to rename this layer sketch, bring the opacity down a little bit, and then zoom in and go to the pen tool, keyboard shortcut P, or it's right above the text tool in the toolbar. And then drag and click to make your curves. The pen tool takes a lot of practice to get the hang of, and it's more native to Illustrator, but Photoshop's pen tool isn't all that bad. So there we go. Then you're gonna do this for every letter, but for letters that have the cutout in the middle, I mean if you want it to have that cutout, you're gonna make your initial outline shape, then you're gonna add your cutout shape. Well, let's just say this is gonna be it. Then let's make it a different color so that we can see it. Bring it above, all the way to the top of it. Then we're going to shift click on both of these shapes, go to layer, combine shapes, and then subtract from front shape. And that'll give you that donut cutout that you want. So since I already have all my letters made, I'm just going to bring them in. Command C to copy, Command V to paste into the next file. And you can see I went from this sketch to this. Alright, so once you get all these letters the way you want them to look, you can always go back and edit each individual layer. So for example, use keyboard shortcut A for the direct selection tool, and then you can click on the Bezier handle and warp them any way you want, even afterwards. But I already like this, so let's leave it at that. I'm gonna make a copy of all these layers just to have them, just in case, hide them. And then I'm going to click on this folder where I have all my letters. If you don't have them in a folder, just shift click all the way up and group them all together, then Command E. If you do have a folder, just Command E the folder. And then there you go, that'll merge your layers. From here comes the fun part. We're going to add the effects. So we're going to go into layer, layer style, bevel and emboss. The bevel and emboss is what gives you that 3D effect, which is pretty crucial in the chrome look overall. It's what kind of makes the chrome look. Well, that's not true, but it helps out a lot. And the inner shadow, you're going to add an inner shadow, and then you're going to add a gradient overlay. So for each of these settings here, these different numbers, you're going to probably have different ones because it really varies between visual preference. So most of these here are already at where I want them to be. Let's just change this a little bit. And yeah, so here we have bevel and emboss. Here's all my different settings. I have a cone contour. Any of these would probably work for the chrome, but I like the way the cone looked the best. Then we're going to go to inner shadow. We're going to have all these settings here. Then we're going to go to our gradient overlay. Make sure that the gradient overlay is black to white, and then click reverse, and that'll give you white to black. And that'll add those like shadows that we want over in these areas, so it's not just one big piece of like white. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna press OK. So there we have all our effects. Then we're gonna go into our adjustment layers. and we're going to select curves. Now this is what makes the chrome. We're going to bring our shadows up to the top, and we're going to bring our highlights down here. And there you can see the chrome really starting to build and come together. Then from here, we're going to go to our gradient map, and we're going to select a gradient. To show you this step, let's select this one for now. And you can see that the gradient overlay goes over the entire artboard on all these layers, and we want to prevent that. So if you don't already, put these letters into a folder. We'll name the folder Chrome, and then we'll add our phrase. I should rename this instead of letters out of this world. And we're going to add that to the folder. Once you have that in the folder, shift click on curves and gradient map, and right click, control click on a Mac, go to create clipping mask, and that'll ensure that our gradient overlay, or our gradient map and our curves, are only affecting the text. So let's go to our actual gradient that we want. So here you see the different colors that I chose. I chose green, purple, and blue to kind of go with an alien vibe. I noticed there was something wrong with my curves. They were just a little too dark, so I just brought it down a bit. That's the nice thing about this. You can always go back and change things if you need, or if you want to. It's very editable throughout. So the next thing we're going to do is add some noise to our text. We're going to convert this to a smart object, and then we're going to go to filter, noise, add noise. I'm going to lower that to 1%, just enough to kind of eliminate that choppy gradient that was there before. See, you can really see it in the T. There we go. Then if you ever want to go back into the effects, you can always double click on the smart object and it'll open up a new file, and there you go. You can edit them and it'll communicate, and it'll change it for you. Then you gotta add some more pizzazz to this. So we're going to add a little bit of glow around some of the highlight areas. So I already have my brush set. We're going to choose a soft round brush, about 200 pixel size, and just bring it on. I think I have the opacity set to about 2, so just kind of touch up on where you think the highlights would go. So there we have some bling, some blingy bling. And to kind of make this blingy bling pop out a little more, let's add some stars. So to do that, we're going to go to our polygon shape tool. We're going to make sure there's 4 sides, and then we're going to click this gear icon, and the star ratio should be about 5 to 10. This will make the star bigger or smaller, like in terms of width. So I'm going to keep that at 5%. I'm going to make that, and I'm going to make the stroke white as well as the fill, and then I'm going to option click and drag, and then make this a little bit smaller. And then we're going to take both of these stars, Command E to merge them. Then we're going to go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Yes, we want to convert to smart object. That's good, 1.5 for the blur. And then you just drag and drop wherever you see fit, pretty much around the same areas where you put the glow blingy bling. Okay, now that I have all my stars, I'm gonna merge them all together into one layer. Command E. Then rename this layer stars. I'm gonna bring the opacity down so they're not so in your face. That's good. All right, now we're almost done, and we have to add something else to the background. So let's make a quick field of stars. To do this, go to our color fill layer. We're gonna go to filter and noise, add noise. Yes, convert to smart object. And then we're gonna go to about 50%. Then we're gonna go to Gaussian and monochromatic. Then we're gonna press OK. Then we're going to add a levels adjustment layer directly on top of that color fill layer and bring these in so we can have more control of how much noise is actually visible. So there is our out of this world warped chrome text effect in Photoshop, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it useful. Thank you.